Oh, good morning, everyone. Thank you, John. And thanks to all of you for being here with us this morning. I've been introduced a lot of different ways, not always complimentary, but that was phenomenal. So thanks for that. We have a lot of numbers to share with you this morning, as John alluded to. And so they said, hey, can you do it really fast? Like fast as AT&T's 4G network? I said, we can do that. So we're going to just jump right on this, and I'll give you the highlights. And let's start with a big one, 12,000. Okay, that's the number of volunteers that the United Way mobilized on our Day of Caring event last September. Everywhere you went, you could see our crews out working to make our community better. They were out there remodeling child care centers and delivering meals to people that were shut in or sick, out repairing trails in our neighborhood parks. Throughout the community, things got better that day. And that's a big number, but it's just a fraction of the 30,000 United Way volunteers that join us throughout the year, including on Martin Luther King Day of Service. That day, we're just busy, right? Out in the community. I'll give you another one, 750. That's the number of kids we're reaching through the Parent-Child Home program. This is a program that makes a huge difference in kids' readiness for school. That, in turn, is just one of several parent support programs backed by the United Way. In total, we reach over 5,000 moms and dads every year. 465,000. Now I'm talking about summer meals. And what happens oftentimes for families is kids go hungry in the summertime. And we have a program where we bring meals to low-income families that normally would get a free or reduced lunch during the school year. We keep that going in the summer, and that keeps them from going hungry. And we're making sure that that doesn't happen. Kids shouldn't go hungry just because they're not in school. Summertime should be a fun time, and it shouldn't be a hungry time. But you can help us play a bigger part in that. We've got a big plan, and that's to have many of us and many others in the community step up in our new 1 Million Meals campaign. This is going to bring summer meals to more than twice as many children in the years ahead. Here's a new number, 19. And I'm talking right now about AmeriCorps volunteers that have joined the United Way over the past year. These folks are busy. They're out there working. And these recent college grads are placed with us for a year through the AmeriCorps Vista program. And they do a huge amount of legwork for numerous programs, like the summer meals I just mentioned. They're out there actively recruiting additional volunteers for United Way programs. And they're involved in all kinds of other key projects that help keep our communities going. This is Olivia Uhart. She's one of our AmeriCorps volunteers. She came to us from the University of San Diego, and she's on her way to Vanderbilt. She's going to be studying to be a nurse practitioner. But she's been busy while she's been here with us. She was out there helping lead our United Way free tax preparation campaign, organizing sites and recruiting volunteers. Here's what the tax campaign does. It's helping people who are financially struggling get all the credits and refunds they're eligible for. And I'll tell you a little story about a woman named Helen. It was wonderful, to find people like Helen and really help. So Helen had trouble this winter. Her furnace blew out, and as she was trying to get that repaired, she ran through most of her savings. And when her car died, she lost a lot of her freedoms, right? She was in a real bind. She didn't have the money to fix it. No car, no independence. She couldn't do the basic things like get to the grocery store, join her friends at church, or find her way to the doctor. And like a lot of us, Helen was proud and shy to ask for help. But when she was at her local library, she ran into one of our tax preparation specialists. And she got the help she needed. She gulped down that pride, and she got a refund, right? Because these folks helped her. And she got refunds and credits she didn't know about. And then the good news is there was a little bit left over. It was a huge relief for Helen. Hundreds of others got that same help. Helen was one of almost 15,000 people of many ages and backgrounds helped by the tax preparation campaign. So you can tell this has a big impact in our community. It brings 700 plus highly trained volunteers out into the community. They gave their time, and $22 million came back into the community. These tax refunds really, create a virtuous cycle where people can help, their community stay strong. Many people and families gain stability through this program, and it creates a multiplier effect, as you can imagine. Free tax prep is just one of the ways we help older adults, but there are other ways too. 170 seniors are part of a wellness program that the United Way has started together with the senior services team. And the idea is keeping people healthy and active and happy. And when you add together all the many ways that the United Way supports older adults and adults with disabilities, you add up to almost 58,000 people impacted right here in Seattle. Does that feel pretty good? Sure it does. I'd like to talk to you about homelessness. It's complicated, and all of us understand that. But there is progress being made. One measure is that nationally, homelessness among veterans is down. Our community has been at the forefront of that effort, not only with housing, but other help, like helping these veterans that are returning back home get a job. You can imagine how rough it must be. You could be coming back from war, possibly gone through trauma, and then to become homeless. Getting your equilibrium back under these situations isn't going to be easy, but you know what? It is happening. And we've got more than 80 formerly homeless veterans enrolled in a new United Way program. It teams closely with employers and the vet, just increasing the likelihood of success for both. And many employers have stepped up. The big ones, companies you've heard of like Lowe's Hardware, and small ones, local ones like Tim Carr, who runs a small landscape business here in North Seattle. We want to thank all the businesses that are helping. Please give them a round of applause. $10 million. That's what we will invest this year to help end homelessness. And it goes to projects like the Veterans Employment Project. It goes into expanding the number of shelter beds so that no one will be outside tonight. It goes into permanent housing so that we can end the nightmare of homelessness for good. In 2013, along with our partners, we've added 276 new units of housing for people that have been homeless and on the street for years. One of those new facilities is in Ballard, and it's run by our partner, Compass Housing. It's called Nair Uranus. People started moving in April. One of them is this guy that we're going to show here in a minute, Jacob. Grizzled, tough guy, right? People started moving into the apartments in April, and when Jacob walked in, he looked around and he was just appreciating all of the neat little treatments in this kind of one-bedroom studio apartment. And the staff said that when he walked around, he just couldn't believe it. He said, "I'm blessed, I'm so blessed." And after a minute, he turned around, he saw the bathtub. And he turned to the staff and he said, "I could take a bubble bath." He was really feeling great about it, right? So, just the simplest things, helping these parts of our community, these people in our community, just get reestablished in a positive way. And when, that housing starts, then jobs can follow and education and all the good things we need to get people back on their feet. So it's really powerful. It's really powerful to help people like Jacob. And it's services and counseling and healthcare that really kind of put the package together. And United Way has made a multi-year commitment to support these programs. And everybody wins in this equation. Jacob wins because he's finally coming home, and we win because it reminds us of what we can do together and what kind of community we really are. In addition, there are cost savings. When we lift someone out of long-term homelessness, there are fewer emergency room visits, less time in sobering centers, fewer demands on law enforcement, and these costs have been pegged at an average of $10,000 per year per homeless person. This year we'll complete a fundraising effort called the Campaign to End Chronic Homelessness. There are still a few gifts that we need to come in, but we think we're only a few weeks away from finishing it up, and it all began back in 2007. Our goal back then was to get 1,000 people off the street by providing them a home and services. Almost 1,800. That's the number of people we've actually helped. The number of units that we and our partners have constructed with your help. In other words, we nearly doubled our goal. Does that feel great? So you can do the quick math. 10,000 times 1,800, that's $18 million a year that we're saving by getting these programs put in place. But it has a much greater multiplier effect, right? And I couldn't calculate it, right? I can't calculate how much it's worth to someone to have their dignity back, to regain their life. This base of housing and services is going to benefit our community for years to come. It's a great investment. And it does mean that in the future, does that mean that, no one will become homeless? Of course not. But ending homelessness means that we can help people right away, that we have the resources to address it, and that we don't prolong problems. We can get people back on their feet more quickly and get them back to stability. Ending homelessness means not letting people suffer, not letting people languish, because the faster we act, the faster we can break someone's fall. It's a lot to take in. If you leave with just one thing, I hope is that the United Way gets things done, and we could do it on a big scale. If you want to change this community, change it for the better, this organization is something to be part of. You know that. That's why you're in this room. I'm proud to say that I'm involved with the United Way of King County. And with about 73,000 people donating this year and 30,000 people volunteering, the people in this room are part of a 100,000 person strong organization that's making this community better. And this year, our collective efforts will touch the lives of an estimated 500,000 people in King County. That's what it means to live united. Thank you. Have a great morning.